What's going on, everyone? This is Fighting Words with Kevin Shells. I'm Shells.
Kev, A-Count Sports.
You look flabbergasted, Kev. What's going on, bro?
Man.
Yo.
I don't think I've been this off on a prediction. Like,
bro.
I don't know.
I mean, to be fair, we both were. Because
everybody was.
Yeah, everybody. The whole world was.
But we got to be accountable. You got to be
fair enough. You in more ways than one.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You will know soon enough. But let's start with this though.
Yeah.
Let's start with this though. That blue shirt, I like that blue shirt because it got me thinking about something. It got me. What you said?
Appreciate you. Yeah.
No doubt. No, it got me thinking of something. Remember that story as little kids? There was this a story called "The Little Blue Engine That Could."
The little blue engine? I heard the little engine. I got it. That's what
it was. The little blue engine. It was a little engine. It was the little blue engine. It was it was a blue engine. You know, it was a blue. It was a blue engine.
Blue engine. That's right.
And the whole story is about how this little train was told to go up a hill, and no one believed in this train, but the train believed in itself, and it got over that hill.
Yeah.
You know, the little engine that could. We got
little. Nah, you said little blue engine that could.
No, the little blue engine, but it's called the little engine as well. But
all right, I know the little engine that could. All right, that's probably the same story.
We got it. No, it's the same story. It was a blue engine. I can't believe you don't know this story.
It's the West Indian version. They probably put blue on it.
No, it's no West Indian version. It's the world version. It's a blue engine. It's a blue engine, bro.
What are you?
But sometimes they call it the little engine that could. We gotta say this was the little Strickland that could, bro. The little Strickland that could. Not saying that he's little, but this whole story was about. Like, no one believed in Strickland taking this. What were your words during the last episode? Made to order.
Made to order.
Made to order.
Like a dude, yeah. Like, I didn't see where the offense was gonna come from. Like, when I look at, because Izzy is such a good counter striker, and he could feint you into stuff, and he tried that this fight. After he got dropped, he tried to make those adjustments, but it just, I mean, defense. Oh man, we went ahead of, not to cut you, okay, we went ahead of ourselves. We're talking about UFC 293. Yeah.
Israel Adesanya versus Sean Strickland.
For the Middleweight Championship of the world, 185 pounds.
185 pounds. Continue saying, my brother. Continue saying.
No. I mean, look, if we're gonna do it, we gotta take it from the top. Israel Adesanya is basically seen as one of the greatest middleweights of all time, which is saying a lot because that's where
the go. If not the one of the greatest, he's considered the greatest.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Yeah, Anderson Silva is always in the conversation. You know.
True.
More like a bit of a pioneer in that sense.
True.
But Izzy's up there. You know, the sport has evolved. This is the greatest striker in the UFC history.
Is he? Could we still say that?
I mean, no. I mean, going into, I'm trying to set the table.
Gotcha. Copy.
Recognize, and his last performance showed that even more. You know, when going up against another elite level, top of the game striker, he landed first. So I mean, Correct. Going into this fight, it was all there. Strickland came through losses, been up and down, and you know what I mean. The ranked number 5 contender, nobody thought he had a chance, including us, especially us, and he went in there and outclassed us.
Outclassed him?
He outclassed him. I mean,
styles make
fights. Probably won a round. Izzy won a round. It was one side. I think round 2.
Just one round.
It was round 2. He has a case for, I think, the 4th round, but bro, even dropped him. He set the tone in the first round.
Yes.
Nothing Izzy threw could get in. It was reminiscent. And remember we mentioned in the pre-fight that he trained with Pereira. It looked a lot, his offensive, the way he was cutting off the cage looked a lot like Pereira. I think the difference between him and Pereira outside of size and skills is that Strickland was getting in with his defense, whereas Pereira kind of was getting in, his offense was getting in. It was a little bit of defense, but he was kind of matching Izzy and getting to where he wanted to go. Whereas Strickland, his defense nullified Izzy, and then his offense came with his own counterpunch. It was like Izzy, as I watched the first and second round unfold, I'm like, yo, Izzy can't keep, Izzy is so reactive to what Strickland's doing.
Yeah.
This is Strickland's fighting style. There's nothing. He's not. He can fight this for a zillion. Like Izzy was completely reactive to what Strickland was doing. I'm like, wow.
What I also would like to point out in the difference between Pereira and Strickland was Strickland had a lot more patience.
He's defensive.
Way more patience. Yeah. In the first round when Strickland caught one of Izzy's kicks and was backing him up into the gate. And instead of going for the kill right then and there, he let him go and went back to the center. When I seen him do that, I said, oh, this is different.
Yeah.
That little move to me told me like, oh, he's really fighting with his head right now.
Yeah.
Like he was not trying to get it one. You could tell he was very calm. He was controlling the pace of the fight. He outgassed Izzy, which surprised me too. Izzy looked tired. It was
I knew
he said outclassed.
I saw it going that way as the fight progressed. After the first round, Izzy just moving, and I'm just like reactive, flinching. That's, guys have great stamina, but there's certain moves you can make in the ring that'll get you tired faster. When you're moving and reacting and flinching to somebody else, what somebody else is doing, it makes you tired faster. Strickland was setting the tone for the fight, and that was like, whoa, like
he broke him down.
Yeah.
It was so crazy. Here's how crazy. Say it again.
He was on the run at the end. When we got to the fourth,
here's how crazy this is. I remember in the last show, I said myself, the only way I see this fight going 5 rounds is if Izzy purposely makes it go that long just to teach Strickland a lesson.
That's how, and that's, but I'm gonna be real with you. In saying that. I think sometimes people take when you say, oh, somebody's gonna win in 2 rounds, or if Izzy's gonna do this. Israel Adesanya ain't just anybody.
No.
I think there's guys that are so great that's been proven for so long that you kind of put that on. I remember when Jones fought Antonio Tarver. Like, and this is eerily similar, because when Jones got in the ring with Tarver, he was 34. And Israel Adesanya, which caught my eye last night, and all that, sometimes you get caught up in a great performance, you're not really looking at somebody's age as much. Jones, when he came down from heavyweight and fought Tarver the first time, it was a close, Tarver landed on Jones like nobody ever did. And Jones got like a disputed, I think, split decision or something like that. And the first time they fought, going into the second fight, Jones's resume and credibility was so big that the thought process was, despite what happened the first fight, oh, Jones was gonna smoke him. He got him mad. He got his undisputed, he got his attention, and Tarver knocked him out in 2. That was the next thing. And it wasn't that people were sleeping on Tarver, it's just that this person built this credibility with you based on what you've seen against top guys.
Yes.
And I'm gonna be real with you, bro. Before the fight, I looked at the 34, I said, oh, he's coming up on that age. But I mean, I really didn't think.
Yeah, you didn't think it was gonna go this route.
Yeah, not that I'm using that as a scapegoat, but that is something now. These are consecutive close fights Izzy's having. This is the 3rd straight one.
I was gonna say this. Do you think it's because Izzy is probably the most active between him and Volkov? He's probably the most. Yeah, I would say. Let me throw it out there. He's the most active UFC champ.
Yeah.
Do you think he's overexerting himself? He's not giving himself enough time to relax and smell the roses and just get himself together? It seems like he's going back to back every 3 months.
I think that's on a person-to-person basis. I think sometimes if you, I don't. To me, I don't sift into the fighters personally, but I don't know if Izzy got kids and stuff like that. He comes across like he doesn't really have, like a family, like.
Yeah, he don't have kids. I don't think so.
So when you don't have that, you have more time to. I would think you have more time to dedicate to your craft. You know what I'm saying? He's probably going to the wheels for them. You gonna take a break now at 34?
I mean, but what I mean by that is, and I know it's a person to person basis. But we're talking about Izzy right now, and this is the 2nd time in a row Izzy had a close fight, and the dominance, we're not seeing the dominance like we used to anymore. So what I was saying was, could it be that going back to back, because even if you don't have no kids, you still got to sit back and let's say you have no kids and you work at a factory, so there's still time for you to relax and like sit home and just spend the weekend away from the factory. Is he in the factory too much? Is he giving up enough? Does he have enough off time for himself?
I would think he does. I think this is what he does. I think maybe if he had too much off time, he wouldn't know what to do with himself. It could be that too. I mean, if you don't have that immediate, that plays a role. You know what I'm saying? I think he's coming on kind of late in his career. For him to be 34 now, I mean, he's probably just trying to go to the wheels falling. You know what I mean?
All the wheels falling?
That's a great question.
Bro,
it looks like it looks. I don't think. I want to say that because Strickland is the book out on Izzy in a sense, but I can't take away from Strickland because that fighting style, Strickland's always kind of had that style. He's kind of adjusted it and wrinkles, like, you know.
So you definitely don't take nothing from
Strickland. But I do think having Pereira in his corner, and I do think people see. Here's the thing. I
think so too.
I'm gonna say this. Here's the thing. There's a such thing as intimidation. Like when somebody's big and bad and nobody's being able to stand up to this person, he's smoking even the baddest dudes in the division. It's an intimidation that come with that. When one guy, when you bust the Douglases, it just take that one dude to break that wall, and then all of a sudden everybody kind of nod their head. What happened? What did he do? Maybe I could do that. That happens. That invincibility kind of breaks. So I think that might be at play here too.
Well, let me ask you this then. Let's get to it. Do you think he deserves an immediate rematch?
Come on. Why are you even asking me?
Because I'm going to ask you every time.
Anybody that's been following this show, my take on rematches, if you are a defending champion with multiple defenses, and Izzy is beyond, we're talking Izzy is a legend. I think that Izzy, I feel like he's deserving of a rematch. But I think it's an interesting situation. Daniel Cormier, I heard him say it twice last night. And he looked like he grudgingly said it. He said maybe with Duplessis and these other guys, the division needs, it would be a step of fresh air if he took, if they kind of gave somebody. I don't agree. I don't. My take is he should get the rematch first and foremost. But I'm not. I wouldn't mind that either. But if he wants the immediate rematch, I think he should get it.
I mean, my stance has always been a basis by base situation. So I always look at the unique situation, the individual situation. In Izzy's case, yes, he is the GOAT in the 185-pound division.
I mean,
and he has lapped the division. Matter of fact, he has beaten Deuce twice.
Yeah.
But I just can't get over the fact that his first loss in that division was to a guy who beat him twice outside of the promotion. And he was given the immediate rematch then.
He cashed out.
He cashed out. He played possum, cashed out, got his belt back.
Cashed out.
And to me, it didn't make sense that they didn't just complete the trilogy right then and there. It didn't seem. To me, it seemed like he should have given Pereira the same chance Pereira gave him. But then moving forward, he becomes completely outclassed, convincingly. No stone left unturned. No, this was a lucky shot. This was a complete 5-round demonstration of Strickland's dominance over Israel. That dominance in itself, adding to the fact that Izzy was already being shaky with his Pereira performance, to me, it's a sign that he does need to take some time and allow the division to move forward. I'm not saying that he doesn't get the rematch sooner. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve the rematch at all. But I do believe at this point, he was already given his immediate rematch. He was already given that respect against Pereira. And additionally, he was given even more respect by them not even suggesting a trilogy. Because it seemed like those just giving, because you know what it's like? It seemed like those just giving him the rematch to set things right again. That's what it seems like. To me, that's not fair. I mean, to me, if you're the champ and you get the immediate rematch, you need to finish that trilogy. Because it's because anything less, it's a disrespect to the opponent. Because you're basically telling the opponent, well, you really didn't deserve the belt. We're really trying to set it back to the way things are. Which is why I think the UFC is gonna set the immediate rematch because of politics. They never wanted Strickland to be in that position. They don't want him to be the face of the 185-pound division for the UFC. Are you crazy? That's more politics. Dana White never seemed so urgent to get that fight. Say like, yes, immediate rematch. They don't want ESPN. Disney don't.
He say that for sure. I know he said it, but it's
he said yes. We gave it easy the immediate rematch.
He said like most likely or something like that.
Man, I heard immediate rematch. It's going down. He's getting it. And when I heard that, all I'm hearing is, yo, we need to get the belt back to who it belongs to.
They thought it was going to be a showcase too. They thought it was going to be a showcase too.
They thought, yo, from what Izzy was saying, he begged for them to give him the Strickland fight because he guaranteed them he was going to win. And they, like the rest of the world, believed that he was going to win that fight, which is why they gave him that fight. They don't know what to do right now.
I don't.
They let the fox in the hen house, and they don't know how to get him out now.
All right, so I don't disagree. I gotta go through layers of what you said. In regards to the Pereira situation, I wouldn't have mind them seeing them fight again the third time. I wouldn't have mind that.
I think it was disrespectful. Honestly, I think it was disrespectful to Pereira not to offer him the trilogy fight.
Now, okay, so here's where we differ. I wouldn't have mind to see them fight again, especially how dramatic, because of their history and how dramatic the first fight went. I wouldn't have mind seeing them fight again. I don't. Here's where I think that with Izzy, I think what's fair is that Pereira wasn't ranked when he fought Strickland. He wasn't ranked. They kind of gave him like, he jumped everybody. You can't
express.
Yeah, and when
but it's based on their history though. This wasn't.
Yeah, but this wasn't. What about the integrity of the actual division? I mean, why do you have rankings where guys are 1 through 10, and you get a guy that just, okay, we're gonna give him Strickland. Strickland takes the fight. We're gonna give him Adesanya in his second fight. He's fighting for the belt. So I think in that way they try to keep the integrity that way. That's what I think. But I'm not against. I would have liked to see him fight a third time. To be honest with you, I'm intrigued by the matchup. I'm intrigued by the matchup. I do want the closure too. You know what I'm saying? I want the closure too. It's just the difference between me and you. I just personally, and I'm not gonna go. We're gonna get into that later. I just think if a guy wins the fight, you got to give him the credit for that. Like, you can't turn around and say a dude is better than him and you just beat him. I just don't agree with that part. So, and going now, fast forwarding into Strickland, I feel that Izzy is getting the rematch because yes, he's a great fighter, champion, multiple time defense. But I think also the UFC, they like to reward guys that play by their rules. Israel Adesanya is a fighting champ. Like you said, we talking about Leon and Aljo kind of saying he's a guy. Dana could say here. Dana could say, yo, here. Whatever he throwing, is he taking it?
Yeah.
When you have a champion like that, you if things go left with him, I feel like at the UFC they like to make examples like, oh, this is one of our guys that does what we want. So when that happens, yo, we take care of him. I feel like that's a part of it. Not only is his greatness, but I think on a smaller level, that's a part of it.
That makes sense. I
think that's kind of it. I don't, you know what I mean? I think that's more.
But yeah, but just I understand. But when you talk about integrity, now
but then again, bro. I mean, I'm about to cut you off. One of my issues with giving people the immediate rematch, especially defending champions, they beat the rest of the division already. So it's like, I'm looking at it, bro. Cannonier beat Strickland. Izzy beat Cannonier. Izzy beat everybody else left of Duplessis, bro. Like, where's like, how do you not give him the rematch when he beat everybody? Like, it's.
No, you just answered the question right there. The next guy he should fight is Duplessis because with Strickland, because here's the thing. You said Cannonier. You said Cannonier beat Strickland, and
right? He was a replacement fighter, wasn't he?
Who, Duplessis?
No, Cannonier. He was actually
Oh yeah, he was exactly. But here's what I'm trying to say. Here's the thing. Now Strickland is the champ. It opens up it opened up the doors to a whole bunch of new matchups. You could have Strickland and Paul Acosta. You can have Strickland, and you see you're doing that, but that's how we. That's what we did.
Guys that.
But you say yourself, Styles makes fights, though.
Here's my problem with that, and which is why I say, when a multiple defending champion, I feel like when you have that, it devalues the belt. Here's why I say
no. When you have what?
When you have guys, when you don't give Izzy the immediate rematch, and then you get Strickland fighting guys that were ahead of him, like Acosta and Acosta or Cannonier, or guys that Izzy beat already. If by chance any of these people beat him, I feel like it devalues the belt. Not all the way, but it takes a little shine off it. Because I'm like, so. Izzy, I think so.
You know why I don't think so? Because
that means the title runs back through Izzy, even though you got a champion.
No, but here's the thing, though. Okay, first, let me address the first point. I don't think it cheapens the belt because at the end of the day, we all know Styles makes fights. So it's not MMA. We already said that last show. MMA.
So then, does that make Strickland like his win just a stylistic win over Izzy? If he ends up losing to Costa, one of them.
If he ends up losing, who's the better fight that night?
The belt is.
Who's the better fight that night?
It's like Ngannou, bro. It's like Ngannou during.
It's not without John because you know why?
Without the John Jones situation, it's like Ngannou. Like if Gon was to win the belt or win somebody that Ngannou had already beat, it would have put a heavy shadow over it.
Like, no. Here's the difference. I'm gonna tell you here's the difference. The difference is this: when you leave the division and decide not to come back, the belt is in jeopardy of being cheapened. Hence, that's why we bring up Charles Oliveira from the Bronx. Like. That's what I say. He saved the 55-pound division because he never got to fight Khabib, and by the time Khabib left, he was the one coming up. If Poirier had beat him or Gaethje had beat him, we all would have been like, well, the real champ is still Khabib because the only reason why they're champ because Khabib not walking around. But in the chance, here's my point. Let me finish it. But in the context of this situation, Asanya is still here in the division. So when you giving another fighter a chance,
Go ahead.
So giving one of those fighters a chance at the belt doesn't cheapen it because at the end of the day, Izzy will come there eventually again. It only cheapens if Izzy's not coming back at all, and he left on top. He didn't even leave on top. He legit got outclassed. So at the end of the day, the new standard becomes Sean Strickland.
So all right, so Izzy is 34 now.
Okay.
Let's say we let Sean Strickland fight Acosta. By the time Izzy get back in the ring, he's closer to 36.
Okay.
Let's say. Okay. And then he ends up losing to guys that he had originally beaten. That doesn't cheapen Strickland's win?
No, it does not.
Yes, it would. Because then people would say, yo, Izzy was washed. How come he beat these dudes before and now he can't beat
them now? But it doesn't cheapen it. It just means that he's no longer dominant. You know what it means? This is what it means. They figured out the puzzle. Every fight is different.
36. Not at the
But that's how you have to put it.
A certain age, bro.
How old is John Jones?
John Jones isn't a striker. Is it different?
It don't matter. No, we're not. We're just talking about fighters in general. You bring up Izzy's age.
Izzy's age is significant. Just like Anderson Silva's age was significant. When you're dealing with strikers that are counterpunchers, that deal with reflexes and things of that nature, they fade faster than guys that are wrestlers. John Jones, Glover Teixeira, these guys that aren't, that want to take you down, they last longer. Your wrestlers last longer. The guys that have other skills last longer than your striker.
Kev, but here's the point though, Kev. Watch this though. But here's the point though, Kev. No matter what the age is, once you decide to walk in that octagon, you're saying you're ready. So whether it's Izzy 26, 36, 46, if he walks into that octagon willingly, he's telling the world he's ready. So those are ages irregardless. Once he walks to the octagon,
he's ready now. He's more.
He can fight. He can get ready to fight.
Is anybody more deserving than Izzy?
For the they have a fight between Hamza and Acosta. Paul Acosta. I want to see how that turns out first. I like to see any of them
more worthy, regardless of winning.
Any of them more worthy depends on their performance. If Hamza dominates Paulo Costa, the way Sean dominated Israel, yes, he deserves the next shot to the title.
Despite being unranked right now.
If he dominates, again, I'm gonna say it again. If he dominates him, he jumps
Duplessis and Israel Adesanya.
Well, here's the thing with Duplessis.
He just jumps everybody.
No. Here's the thing with Duplessis. I would like to see Duplessis step in to fight Sean, but here's the thing with Duplessis. I don't think he's gonna get it because you know why? You said it yourself. The UFC rewards and punishes fighters for certain reasons. When Duplessis turned down that fight to fight Israel in the first place, I think they're gonna put him through the rigmarole a little bit because he was supposed to take that fight, he didn't, and even they will say that's why you take fights when we give them to you because you never know what can happen.
Shout out to Duplessis. Shout out to Duplessis.
No, shout out to him. No, shout out to him, but because like you said, no fighter should fight till they're 100% ready. So I don't blame Duplessis. I'm just saying the way the UFC works. We know how it works. You just say so they reward and punish. I got a question for you, Kev.
Yeah.
So I believe it was our last episode. We was talking about pound for pound, pound for pound rankings, and in that episode we had we had a little dispute over number 5 for both of our lists.
I don't think you disputed my number 5. I know I disputed.
I think the fact that I had number 5 for Alex Pereira and you had number 5 as Israel Adesanya, that one of your biggest issues was because the two rivals
there's multiple issues with Alex Pereira.
But one of the biggest issues that Izzy won the last fight. So now Izzy lost his last fight.
One of many issues.
One of the issues. Yeah. Cool.
All right. So be prepared.
Cool. But now Izzy lost his last fight.
Yeah.
And that's one of your arguments against the issue with me picking Pereira as number 5, which is he not only lost his last fight, he lost the fight. He lost head to head against the guy I had at number 5. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That was my issue. It was the biggest issue. I
got you. No, but that was the issue when we even put him on the list. So my thing is, now that he lost his last fight, outclassed in the same department that he's supposed to be the best at, which is striking.
Yeah.
So, do you still have him as your number 5?
Nah. Because I don't have him at 5. I was thinking about it. It would be between, because being a champion is a heavy criteria. So he lost to Strickland. So we have to Strickland now has a win over a guy I had in the top 5. Sean O'Malley has a win over a guy that was in the top 5 as well. So it kind of opens the discussion up. I think I'm looking at Sean O'Malley and Strickland.
Really? You adding them to the list?
For the 5 spot. One of those two. They both have top 5 wins. Aljamain Sterling was the best, not only pound, not was he was on my top 5 pound for pound list. He was looked at as one of the best ever in that division at the time of the loss. Tight ever in the division at the time of the loss. So I have to consider. I know O'Malley's. He does have and he has a win over Peter Yan, who's stumbling now. But that was his first loss, I think, Yan, after the Aljo fight, wasn't it?
Jan's first loss. It was
like his first loss after that fight. So it's between the two of them.
Quick question in regards to that. So, according to your criteria, all someone has to do is knock off one of the guys on your list and they replace him automatically. So, someone beats John Jones, they automatically number 1. Okay. This asking.
It's based on. That's when it comes to the category of resume. That's heavy. If you could beat a guy that's already in the top 5 currently, it's heavy. Yeah. It's a heavy. It's a heavy thing. I look at So what I look at is record. And record, like if they're streaking or they have a great record. The next thing I look at is resume. The most important thing to me is resume. There's guys that's in the top 5 or whatever, but if you could beat a guy that's ranked top 5 pound for pound, that's like it's a big elevation. It's like, to me, like as far as resume, that's like one of the biggest things you could have. If you beat somebody that's actively in the top 5 pound for pound,
resume. I like that word, resume.
Yeah, resume. And then after that, it's perceived dominance. That comes after those two. It's kind of like, okay, so they're the champion now. All right, who else is on the landscape? Who else do you think they could carry it? How have they looked in their wins? Things like that. Like Aljamain, like one of the issues I had was he hadn't looked dominant when he became the champion, and then looking at the landscape, I'm like, yo, I don't know about A, B, C, and D. Like,
I get you saying,
which is the issue with Edwards. Like when I look at the landscape, it's A, B, C, and D. But what I like about his perceived dominance on the flip side, I would give him like a half score because his Usman win, along with him finding out ways to win. I kind of felt like with the Diaz fight, he looked bad at the end, but that was followed by 4 rounds of he was cleaning. Like there was no contest before that. Like there's certain aspects to him. He gets some points, but not so much. So it's like a it's kind of like the perceived dominance rounds it out. It kind of like separates.
I get that.
Body is close. Yeah.
I would like to say that even though you have an issue with my number 5 pick,
yeah,
he's the one that sparred with Strickland, which I felt was it has to be one of the factors his experience in training with this man contributed to how he outclassed Izzy.
Absolutely. I think
so. As far as I'm concerned, this is sort of an L for Pereira as well.
Because he didn't get it done? Because he says an L for Pereira?
No. I'm so sorry. Thank you for correcting me. It's a W for Pereira as well.
Okay.
It's a W for him as well.
It is because he beat Strickland.
He beat Strickland, and Strickland went to him, got training, and beat the guy who he beat 3 times prior to his last loss and was never given the opportunity to right that wrong.
Yeah, so is this you saying that more evidence to have Pereira on the list?
That's part of it, yeah. And to me, it's more justification as to why they need to complete that trilogy. Because it's a lot of unanswered questions between them two. This is actually the co-main to John Jones versus Cyril Gane.
Yeah. Bro, so you had an issue. We spoke about this off air. You had an issue about this not being a pay-per-view.
Definitely, bro. Definitely. I mean, to give Grasso her first title defense and not put it on a pay-per-view, at least to co-main, especially a fight as big as this.
Yeah.
To me, it's just borderline disrespectful. To me, it just feels borderline disrespectful to put it on a fight night. And I remember you explained to me because of her Mexican heritage, so they want to have a Mexican fight.
Yeah, Mexican Independence Day is actually on that date, Saturday the 16th. Mexican Independence.
And you know what? It's so crazy. I get it. So I probably got to pedal back with the disrespect thing because you probably wanted that, and maybe things are going behind the doors that I don't know about.
Right.
So I'm not gonna say. Let me take back the word disrespectful because I don't know as much. I don't have too much information because it don't seem like she's complaining about it at all. But it's like, man, like this. First of all, this is a big one. Like this is up there with Pena and
Nunez
and Nunez.
Yeah.
The sort of upset, and I want to see how they promote this one. Because it's a fight night and like
yeah.
But you know what's crazy? I would have respected it more if they did one of those ABC specials.
Oh, like yeah, with Holloway.
I would have been like, okay, because to me putting on ABC is a notch above pay-per-view because this is going nationwide. Everybody's seen it. So if you really to me like, and again that's probably out of the hands of the UFC because now you go above the UFC, you're going to the Disney brass.
Yeah.
They got to decide, but I mean it just threw me off that they put a fight this significant as a fight night. that's but I'm happy that it makes sense why they would have because you don't want to have one pay-per-view right the week after.
Yeah.
This paper, so yeah. What I think of the fight? I mean, what is it at the week? We're gonna see if Shevchenko still got it or not.
Back to back, close. You went from the fight that we debated about.
Santos.
Yeah, Talia Santos, which made news. Not to shift gears too much. She loses to Erin Blanchard. Blanchard, who's fastly rising. She should be the number 1 contender with that win. So going back to this fight, Grasso, oh man, this is I know it's Mexican Independence Day, and I know that we slept on Grasso the last time, but when you have a great fighter possibly kind of coming to an end. You see, maybe the end is the writing is on the wall. I think that's a little more of the story. I get the feeling that maybe for me, that may be a little more of the story. Can she get back? Can she turn around?
Because she still have it.
Grasso was, I mean, she matched her on the feet, and then it got to the point where Valentina, got a little reckless. She was the one that didn't look like the vet. She's the one that made the bad move, that kind of, which ended the fight. Which, man, Grasso looked really good. I was really impressed with her.
One thing I noticed,
yeah,
because we did debate about her winning that fight against Santos,
right?
And whether we agree or not on the result, we both agreed on was that dominance was not there, which made that argument even possible between us.
Yeah, that was your point. I remember.
The fight before that, when she fought Murphy, that was the Shevchenko we're used to.
Yeah.
The similarity between what I saw, the similarities between Santos and Grasso's, in contrast to Murray, was that both Santos and Grasso kept pressure on Shevchenko. They put the pressure on her. Mm-hmm. They didn't allow her to dictate the fight. They didn't allow her to dictate the pace. Mm-hmm. As opposed to Murray, who one of the things that Murray was, it sometimes felt like Murray was just waiting for Shevchenko to initiate a strike so she could counter it. They didn't give her that. And what I also noticed was that once the pressure was on Shevchenko, she started shooting for the both of them, and they both were out grappling her. Maybe what's happening, remember you said that once that cloak of invincibility, once that cloak of invincibility is broken, everyone started like, hold on, what did she just do right there? Mm-hmm. To me, what happened was everybody saw what Santos just said, oh, it's possible. Yeah. And she just showed us how it's to be done. Yeah. And Grasso saw that and took from it. So, it, like you said, it could be that they have a number now.
It could be, yes. I think
this is what this
is true. On top of that as well, I'm looking at the fighters. Top of my head, I'm thinking of fighters that because Valentina's run has been a little bit extensive, and I'm thinking of the fighters from UFC is a fastly evolving sport, like
MMA.
It's MMA, yeah. UFC. I say UFC specific because it's the top.
Correct. You're right.
It's so hard to get a long-lasting. That sound like a broken record. To get a long-lasting champion because it's the evolution of it. It turns over so fast. So when you get your Jones, your Izzy's, the guys that hold on, Mighty Mouse, that hold on for a while, it's a big deal. They're adding wrinkles to their game. They're making adjustments. They're so far ahead of the curve that it's taking a while for everybody to catch up to them.
Yeah.
Grasso, like Lauren Murphy, Juliana Pena. I'm thinking of the people that specifically that Valentina Shevchenko beat. Andrade, like they're the old guard. They're the old guard, and some of them are a bit. Lauren Murphy's a bit one-dimensional. She's like this. Juliana Pena, I like Pena. She's a bit one-dimensional. Like they're a bit one-dimensional. Grasso, Santos, and now Erin Blanchfield. Not only can they strike, their ground game is something serious, especially Santos and Blanchfield. Especially them. It was like Grasso was so good on her feet and neutralizing Shevchenko that Shevchenko got anxious and did something wild and paid for it. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, bro, it might be the changing of the guard. It just might be that time. So it's sometimes it happens so fast. Like when you watch the fight and the fight is one way and then the knockout happens and all the lights cut on and they're showing the crap. That's how fast it goes, bro.
Yeah.
I think that's what we might be witnessing here.
So let's get into it. Predictions then. We want to talk about predictions. Who you think's taking it? What round? What method?
I got Grasso by decision, man. I think she'll perform well on the feet. I think Valentina will make adjustments, but I think Grasso by decision.
Yeah,
Grasso by decision. I think. Damn.
It's crazy when you come out your mouth. Like I was thinking about it all day too.
I was
watching.
Valentina hasn't been dominant for a while.
Yeah, no. I was watching because I was watching some of her previous fights to get refresh my memory on their skill sets, and the way that Grasso performed against Shevchenko, that's how she's been performing against her previous fights. So it's like this is her
opponent.
Yeah, this is just another opponent, and when I seen this, I'm like, this is different.
Yeah,
because I'm trying to find an angle as to what would give Shevchenko the edge, but especially when you watch their last bout, like you said, this was the crazy thing to me. She was outstriking her. She was catching on the foot game to the point where Shevchenko was going shooting for takedowns because she had no other option. And even when she's doing the takedowns, she had no options there either.
Yeah,
she was getting beat on the top and the bottom.
Yeah.
It was a well-rounded domination.
And
even the way she that kick she threw, like it wasn't
that roundhouse. Yeah.
Grasso the way Grasso just caught that and just got into that submission. It's like, that's
she's
her.
Looking for it.
That's her.
When fighters, that's tendencies. When fighters get tired, fatigue makes fools out of all of them. You see, his tendencies start to pop up when guys get tired. Women get tired. They start to get repetitive. They start to fight on instinct. And then those things show up.
Desperation.
Film study, man. Film study.
So I agree with you.
I didn't catch the prediction.
No. I agree with you. I do think that Shevchenko, I have to give respect to say that she would make adjustments, but I don't think those adjustments are going to be enough.
Changing of the card.
So I do feel it's going to be a decision as well, bro.